Okay, let's have a look at a little USB power supply, which is this one, which I've featured in another one of my videos. I'll try and link it somewhere for you to have a look at. I say review, just a quick look at, not really a review as such. Anyway, this is rated 5-volt output, 2.1 amps if you use one port, because this has got 2 ports on it, as you can see. My face tracking comes in right. There we go. And it says option 2 times 5 volts, 1.5 amps altogether. So we'll have a look inside and see what we get. I've already kind of cracked it open, as you can see, because it's hermetically sealed, so it's a bit of a bugger to undo. But I think we'll find this a little bit interesting. So let's jump over and have a look on the bench and see what we've got on the inside. Let's go. Right, let's get into this power supply. As I say, we will have a bit of a surprise in this one. I'll show you for why. Well, from what I'm guessing on the inside, as you can see, look, through-hole components, not surface mount. What the? Right, as I said, I already took this piece apart. That looks as though it's come away with the other bit. Hang on. Let's grab my screwdriver, my enforcer. There we go. So you ain't seen there. Full surface mount jobby. Not what you traditionally expect in a switch mode power supply, such as a mobile charger. You normally expect all of the components to be surface mount stuff. I still haven't broken this out yet, so if I do gouge my fingers, I better catch it on video for you YouTubers to laugh at, or not. Hopefully, I might tip this up a little bit, but I mean, look at that. That's full of caps in there. Look at that. Electrolytic, one fat diode. And see if I can get proper focus on that. Yeah, I've got it in manual focus. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get a bit closer, shall we? So look, you can see electrolytic, big fat diode, electrolytic, Y-class capacitor. That'll be for that transformer there. That's probably a fuse in shrink wrap, or not shrink wrap, what is it, electrical tape. That looks like probably a fusible resistor. And also electrolytic caps. I can't see any chippers on the underside, but there may be. So bear with while I crack this more open so we can have a more in-depth look at, because this is about as far as I'm better get without damaging my camera. So let's jump back in a second and hopefully I'll have it completely open. Well, there's your little surprise. Look at that. Cracked it open quite easily, really. I just went and it sort of broke apart. So yeah, these things are generally hermetically sealed, which this one was. So it wasn't too bad to actually break apart. But I would say, as I originally thought, this looks very, very interesting. Let me give you guys a close-up. And doesn't look like a traditional switch mode power supply, does it? I say a couple of caps. They're probably for both outputs for the USB. I wonder if they're the same rating. I think we did see it earlier. 10 volt, 470 UF. They're probably both the same, and as I say, they are probably supplying both of the outputs of those USB connectors. Yeah, looks to be that way. Y-class capacitor, as I say, for the transformer. So that links from hot side to neutral side, just to remove any unwanted noise or any sort of voltage spikes, I think it is, across the circuit. So the mains comes in, goes for a chippy bridge rectifier. Yeah, anyway, looks as though down to a resistor. The other one goes to that output capacitor there, the bulk capacitor. It's not been on for a while, so yeah, it's alright, it's touch. But if you've just powered these things on, don't be touching these bloody things. 400 volts, 10 UF, so that's the main bulk capacitor from the mains coming in.
I've got a smallish diode there next to an electrolytic, a couple of surface mount resistors, another 400 volt 4.7 UF capacitor. I wonder if they're linked together. Oh no, that's the volt capacitor, sorry. So main's coming in, that's coming out. So there's two of them. That's interesting. So you've got the first volt capacitor from the mains coming in, and you've got the second one. So that's coming from the bridge rectifier. Bridge rectifier! I'm going to try and do that every time. Straight to that cap there, through that cap there, through a couple of resistors which are probably discharge ones, and then we've got a surface mount diode there, and it basically just links across from this transformer. So these are the two outputs, pins on the transformer, and then obviously going to the various parts of the circuitry. That's obviously ground because it's connected to the metal chassis of the USB, and output goes to a couple of items, one being the Y-class capacitor and one being that beefy diode. No, tell a lie. No, I'm not lying. To the beefy diode, resistor and diode there, or cap and diode, looks like maybe a RC circuit. And then out of the output of the diode, through another capacitor there, through a couple of series of resistors again, and then straight to the output for the 5 volt USB. That, as I say, it must be, well, strange for me to look at because I've seen quite a few power suppliers, small and big, and you know, that is quite a generous diode there. That is quite a big beefy mother. The input is fused. Actually, where was the fuse? Let's have a look. Oh, okay, yeah, coming straight off the, or is it in line with the mains? Can't really see that. It's hard to tell on camera. But yeah, I mean, it's fused anyway. Nice separation there. Clearance from the hot side to the cold side. So hot live main side. So that's active at mains voltage. And this side being the low voltage side, which is coming from that transformer, indicating this is the low, the cold side as referred to. So do not touch, and relatively safe to touch. But again, if you've just opened one of these, don't touch it straight away because that would be stupid. So you'd either want to discharge those two big fat 400 volt capacitors, because they're obviously going to have a voltage of near on 400 volts, or 350 to 400, with the voltage coming in from the mains. So you may want to discharge those two first of all before you start poking your fingers around and stuff or troubleshooting. Nice to see the USB connectors. Is that a plastic? Ah, look at that. That's got a plastic cover that goes over there. I don't know quite what I've done that, because I say the actual metal can itself is linked. Oh, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's linked to the minus side, so you're not directly connected to mains voltage, but you are connected to the cold side negative rail. So it could be 12 volts, could be 24, could be obviously 5 in this case, but it depends on what's coming from the feedback loop and all that stuff. Chip wires, that's what I was going to look at, talking about feedback. I might have to God, that was loose. Look at that. Whoa. We've got a loosey-goosey mother here. Literally. Look at that. That's flapping around in the breeze, as Dave would say. That is terrible. I'm not going to look to reuse this power supply anyway, so don't matter if I damage anything. Let me just get rid of that while damaging myself. Yes. Let's have a closer look at the chippy. This will be the switch mode power supply, responsible for feedback and whatnot. But I don't see any opto isolator, so I'm not sure if this is actually a feed. This is switch mode. I think it's just, I can't really see that, but you guys can see it. So if you guys want to have a look for me, let's see what the actual chippy is. It's an 8-pin dip job. But I thought that was quite interesting to look at, really. as we've got a clip on, you know, mains voltage side. That's pretty good. The plugs are UK rated, so that's safe. That's good. Separation is quite good on the circuit. It's got quite good input volt capacitance on there. Those are limited to the cold voltage side, minus. Obviously a switch mode or controller chip actually. One thing I didn't look at is the pin out on them. You can generally tell. You know what that is? So those two top pins there, they're linked together, which suggests to me, and that goes to one pin of the transformer, so that will be a MOSFET driver. A transistor package or MOSFET package that controls the switching of this transformer. That's what it is, not a switch mode power supply chip, more a transistor or MOSFET transistor switching chip. So yeah, that's a look at that. Hope you found it useful. I was going to do a reverse engineering on it, but I can't be bothered. So we'll leave it at that, and hope you guys like. Please comment, link and subscribe and all that stuff. And yes, I'm not in focus, but actually let's do one of them film things. Way. Comment, link, subscribe. DrRunCMD signing out. Click those buttons. You know you want to. Bye bye for now.